welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making a traditional red velvet pound cake. And I say traditional because this is the way my mom used to make her red velvet pound cakes, and it just brings back such sweet childhood memories of growing up during the holidays. It's Christmas time when my mom would make a red velvet cake. I mean, it just screams Christmas, and it makes me smile because it reminds me of my mom. And I know, you know, today we do a lot of different things with pound cakes, especially me. You guys know I will experiment. Some people do cream cheese inside of the pound cake, but I'm doing it traditional, just like my mom. Also, another thing, I know a lot of people add pecans to your red velvet cakes, which is perfectly fine. But my mom did not use pecans, probably because we are particular, and you know, the majority of us, we really don't care for the pecans on the cake. So I'm making this cake like my mom used to make her red velvet cakes, okay? So to start off, I will be using 3 cups of Swan's Down cake flour. I will be using 1/4 cup of Hershey's cocoa, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now all of those ingredients are already in my cake flour. The Hershey's cocoa, baking powder, and the salt. I added them to my flour. Swan's Down, it comes pre-sifted in the box, but once I add my other ingredients to it, I like to sift it just one more time, okay? And then we have 5 eggs, large eggs that I've already cracked, and they are room temperature. We have 1 cup of buttermilk. It's also room temperature. Then I have 3 sticks of butter. They are also room temperature. Then I have 3 cups of sugar. I'm going to use about a tablespoon of pure vanilla. And then I'm going to use an entire 1 ounce bottle of red food coloring. Okay. And then for the glaze, you guys, I want another thick, heavy, almost like icing glaze, okay? But this time I'm wanting it to run pretty much all the way down the cake as much as possible. Have a little bit more coverage than my butter pecan glaze did, okay? But just as thick. So for the glaze, I'm going to use, we're going to do cream cheese and powdered sugar, and I do have another bag of powdered sugar over here. Oh, and you guys, a powdered sugar note. I love all these powdered sugar, you guys. It is so fine, and I just love it. So I wanted to give you guys a tip for those of you that use a lot of powdered sugar. If you've not tried Aldi's powdered sugar, don't sleep on Aldi, okay? So, I think that's everything. Oh, I'm going to put some Creme Bouquet in my icing, okay? Or my glaze. So, of course, I've already thoroughly washed my hands. Y'all don't be in the kitchen with nasty hands. It's just nasty. My oven is preheating to 325 degrees, so it should be ready by the time we're finished mixing this cake. I'm starting by adding my 3 sticks of softened butter to my mixer. And then once I get these added, I'm going to turn on the mixer for just a few seconds to initially get this butter incorporated. And then I'll start adding my sugar slowly, okay? So then we're going to cream the butter and the sugar until it becomes light and fluffy. You don't want to hear those sugar crystals mixing around in the bottom of your mixing bowl. I usually cream anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes, and yes, I do set a timer. After the butter and sugar have creamed, then you'll see me add my eggs one at a time. You'll see me add the first egg, then the last egg, but remember I've added 5 in all. So once we're done creaming, adding our eggs, then we'll come back and talk about what we'll do next. Okay, now that we've creamed our butter and sugar, we've added our 5 eggs, it's now time to start adding our dry ingredients and alternating with the wet. And what I like to do is go on and add my flavoring to my milk, and then that way that's already done. Okay, so we're just going to add our vanilla flavoring to our buttermilk. And then as it pertains to the red food coloring, as I'm alternating the dry with the milk, I'll start adding it as well. So we're going to start with our dry ingredients, and we want to end with our dry ingredients. So we'll start with the flour, and then I'll add some milk, and then we'll go back and forth until everything is added, and we're going to end with the flour. So you'll see me start this process, and then you'll see me end it by adding the last little bit of flour. Okay, and this is the easy part. You also want to make sure at this point you do not over mix. Okay, you just want to mix enough to incorporate your flour and your milk, but don't over mix it. Make your cake heavy, make your cake fall. Okay, so just be mindful of that. And this is really the quickest process, because the first part is what took the longest, creaming the butter and sugar. This part here only takes just a couple of minutes. Now that we are done mixing, we are ready to pour. I love this red velvet batter. It's so pretty. And of course, our oven is ready. I have thoroughly sprayed my cake pan with Baker's Joy. Okay? Thoroughly sprayed it. Get the cake as level as possible. Hit the bottom to release air bubbles. Now we're going in 325 degrees for about an hour and 15 minutes. If I need more time, I'll add it. Alright, we've been baking for an hour and 15 minutes. Pretty. So now we're going to cool. Set my timer for 10 minutes. I don't know whether or not you guys have noticed, but I use my timer for pretty much everything, honey, because if I don't, I will burn stuff up. My mama was known for burning some toast. Okay, while it's cooling, I'm going to go on and make the glaze, the thick, heavy glaze, kind of like icing, y'all, because that's what I want. If you don't want your glaze this thick and heavy, well, make it thin. But this is my glaze. And I want it thick. Kind of like icing thick, okay? And even though I'm using an entire block of cream cheese, I'm still going to mix it by hand. And I start off as usual, just kind of mixing up the cream cheese by itself before I add my powdered sugar. Okay? Easy peasy. Doesn't take long at all. If by chance you are new, welcome. But I never ever use a mixer to mix up my glaze. I just don't, y'all. That's more stuff to have to wash. And if you've noticed, I've already washed up my mixer. It's gone. I do that as soon as I put the cake in the oven, honey. Start getting cleaned up. Okay, I'm just pouring. I don't measure, you guys. We're going to add a little bit of vanilla. Just pour until it feels right. Somebody mentioned in the comments when I talked about just pouring, and they said you pour enough until you hear your mom whisper in your ear, that's enough. I said, oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Okay, so now we're going to add a little milk. You guys, be careful when adding the milk. If you add too much, then you're going to have to add some more powdered sugar. But I like it really, well, not really, but I like it thicker in the beginning because it's easier to smooth it out, okay? If you have it too thin, you're not going to be able to get those lumps out from the powdered sugar. Okay? Then we mix. I even want this a little thicker. So we're just going to add some more powdered sugar. And then once I get it as smooth as I want it, if it's really too thick, I can just add a little more milk, okay? But this thickness helps me to get it smooth. And I like to do this real time, so you guys, without cutting the video, because I want you to see how quick this happens. It doesn't take long at all. Okay, just that quick, you guys. Look. We have a thick, smooth glaze. All right. So we have to let it sit. Well, I'm going to let it sit because the cake is still cooling, but I'll probably add just a little more milk to thin it out. Just a little bit. But I'll wait and do that, okay? But right now we're just going to let the cake keep cooling. We are flipping. So we're going to let the cake continue to cool. Again, if I put that thick old heavy glaze on here right now, it's going to totally run off. So it needs to cool for quite some time. That's pretty. Even if I must say so myself. Alright, it's been an hour and 15 minutes later. So let's see if we can get this glaze on here and get it to drizzle all the way down, at least the majority of this cake. Yummy, yummy. Who needs icing when you make your glaze thick enough? Traditional red velvet cake with thick, heavy icing-like glaze with all the extra yummy glaze goodness down in the hole. It's actually just heavy glaze. Heavy glaze. Heavy glaze.
Jar.
Sure is. You guys, you know what I mean?
That's a red velvet. Wow.
All right. Yeah, that's good. Good job. It's cutting off your head, baby. Well, you guys.
I eat it with a spoon and not a fork.
I want that corn. Yeah, that's good too. Got rid of the butter pecan. It's all gone. They took it to work the next day. Well, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you all so much. Another one for the tube. Holidays are coming and we're excited.
What?
So please turn on your subscribe, turn on your notification bell. You know when you turn your bell on, it shakes. So they need to what? Shake something? Shake something? What you looking at? Shake something. All right? Shake something. Shake something. Shake something. Look, you got your mouth full. You can't even talk.
This is good.
It's good. All right. Well, you guys, we appreciate you all so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. We already look forward to you joining us. Y'all, he tired. He just got in the door. Can't you tell he quiet? We look forward to you joining us again next time. Bye.